spoken to you for so many years, and you're such an extraordinary young man. And I've been saying this to everybody that I ever talked to about you because I love you. I just love you. And you see, I'm getting all emotional already, you know. But this, my God, you know, I don't even know where to start. How daunting was it to play a man like Stephen Hawking?
It was. Firstly, so lovely to see you, and thank you for being so generous. It was so daunting. It was like, but I was trying. It was the most extraordinary privilege when I was offered this part. It was this amazing, euphoric moment of going, what a treat! If that's what we do, we aim to tell stories as actors. What an astounding story to tell, the story of Jane and Stephen Hawking. But promptly, there was a moment of euphoria followed by, like I describe it as like being punched in the stomach by utter fear.
Pure panic.
Pure panic, and it's basically been panic. I've basically been a mess ever since, but it was an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, but where do you go in your own mind? Because, my friend, you know, I was watching your performance so closely in this, and even his deterioration from stage to stage to stage, and how you did that in the wheelchair and manipulated your hands. How on earth did you manage to do this?
Well, I went about it I decided to approach it from a kind of old school way, like how they used to do in Hollywood, that you have a team. And so I was lucky enough to get Jan Sewell, amazing makeup designer, a woman called Alex Reynolds, a formidable choreographer, Julia Wilson-Dixon, a vocal coach, and the costumier, Stephen, and we worked together as a team because everything, I knew that everything would affect everything. So your physicality here would affect what costume you were wearing would have ramifications on, and really we worked in concert together. But the physical side, I spent 6 months going to a motor neuron clinic, meeting with a wonderful woman called Dr. Katie Seidel, and meeting people who were suffering from motor neuron disease, and trying to work out what his decline would have been. So that was how I went about it.
Amazing. And meeting him, I mean...
Meeting him, amazing. I mean, extraordinary. And Jane and Jonathan and their kids. I mean, they're the most extraordinary family. And the greatest thing is, you know, when Stephen saw the film and he gave us... He said we could use his voice. And so the voice you hear in the film is actually Stephen's. And that... He has copyright over that, and that was a token. I mean, that made me sort of weep when it was a very, very special.
But Eddie, you did it through through your smile and through your eyes. Like you tell that story. Like,
well, that's when I met him. That is how, even though he's unable to move so much, the expression he has in such limited movement, and that was what I could see that. That's what I spent months working on. Was weirdly not just was isolating muscles on your face that. Because he has such character and humour and wit comes through so little, and that was a sort of aspiration to try and achieve.
Like I say, you know, I just follow you and everything. But coming up next, Jupiter Ascending. I mean, working with the Wachowskis.
Yeah.
Pinching yourself.
Absolutely pinching myself. I mean, those two are the most wonderful, wonderful human beings, and I actually filmed that just before this, and in fact Lana is a huge fan of Stephen, and weirdly when I was meeting with James Marsh on this, the trainer, I had to get all buff for Jupiter Ascending, so, and the trainer Martin, who I was working with there, works with motor neuron patients, so he was the first to give me a wee education. So weirdly those two, the two films sort of had a meeting somewhere, this big sci-fi film, and I know Stephen's a big sci-fi fan, so we'll see what he thinks of Jupiter.
Oh, I'm sure he'll love it, and I know he loves you as I do, and I just, you know, can't say enough about you, of course, and get that tux ready, because you will be at the Oscars. And at the very least, you're sitting next to me again at the Critics' Choice Awards, because we have to continue our pictures.
Thank you.
Love you, Eddie. Thank you so much for your time. I always wanted to talk to you.